Welcome to Bible Stories with Activities. Today's Gospel reading for the 24th Sunday of Ordinary Time comes from the Gospel according to Mark.
Jesus and his disciples set out for the villages of Caesarea Philippi. Along the way he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" They said in reply, "John the Baptist, others Elijah, still others one of the prophets." And he asked them, "But who do you say that I am?" Peter said to him in reply, "You are the Christ." Then he warned them not to tell anyone about him. He began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer greatly, and be rejected by the elders, the chief priests, and the scribes, and be killed, and rise after 3 days. He spoke this openly. Then Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. At this he turned around and, looking at his disciples, rebuked Peter and said, "Get behind me, Satan. You are thinking not as God does, but as human beings do." He summoned the crowd with his disciples and said to them, "Whoever wishes to come after me must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and that of the gospel will save it."
I don't know about you, but in today's Gospel reading, I kind of get the sense that Jesus is asking his disciples and the crowds if they're choosing their own desires and wants over what God desires and wants for them to do. So as we begin today's activity, I want us to think about how are we and our families choosing to spend our time? Are we choosing to spend our time with our own desires and activities that we want to do? Or are we choosing to spend our time in ways that will help us grow closer to Jesus and grow closer together as a family? All right, I know it's ordinary time, but we're gonna go with a Lenten theme. We're gonna be making paper chains with things that we and our family are going to give up and things that we're gonna do instead of those activities that are gonna bring us closer together as a family and closer together to Jesus. All right, are you ready? Let's get started.
For today's activity, you will need green construction paper, scissors, glue or tape, and 2 different color markers. Take your green construction paper and begin folding it back and forth like you're making a paper fan. Once you've finished folding your paper, unfold it, and then take your pair of scissors and cut along the creases so that you end up with strips of green paper. Once you've finished cutting your paper, divide your strips of paper in half, and then take one of your colored markers and begin writing things that you and your family can give up this week. Maybe you choose to give up being on social media, or maybe you give up complaining, or maybe you give up arguing with your siblings. Maybe you and your family even give up watching your favorite TV show. Now, using your other colored marker and the strips of paper that you've set aside, write down things that you and your family will do together in place of the things that you have given up. So for instance, instead of being on social media, maybe you and your family will play a board game together. Then take your glue or your tape and link these 2 strips of paper together to make a paper chain. Repeat these steps with all the other strips of paper. Be creative. Think of things that you and your family can do together that will help bring you closer together and help you grow in your faith.
All right, now you have your completed paper chain with all the things you and your family will be giving up this week and the things you will be doing instead to help bring you closer to Jesus and closer together. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to go out and be disciples of Christ.